Hey everyone, your friendly neighborhood onesie guy here, just coming at you with a quick update on the Epic vs Apple saga. As most of you may know, Fortnite has now also been blocked on the Google Play Store. Now, some of this might come as a shock to people who are a fan of mobile gaming. However, after a little more investigation, we can see that Epic actually knew exactly what they were doing and they expected all of this to happen. So once they initiated their Epic direct payments, they already saw backlash from Apple. And the response time to that backlash with the 1984 parody video, as well as the lawsuit, definitely showed that they had this already waiting in their back pocket. And the same happened when Google blocked the Fortnite game a couple hours later. They already dropped the lawsuit within an hour or two to Google. So we already know that it seems that this has been Epic's plan. They knew what they were doing. A couple of things do show this. Firstly, they knew that what they were doing would violate some of the terms and conditions within the App Store and the Google Play Store. And like I said as well, the response time to both of the platforms banning Fortnite or blocking it from downloads and removing it from their platform. So the reasons behind this can be a number of things. The motivation, I see it, is for a little more fairness and equality. Some of you may know that recently there was an antitrust hearing held for 4 major tech companies, namely Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon, where they were basically looked at, scrutinized, and lambasted, basically saying that these companies, their business practices were amounted to anti-competitive monopolies. So during those hearings, a number of things had come out, namely that Apple had already struck a deal with Amazon a couple of years ago. So on these platforms, a 30% charge or service fee for any transaction processed on the Play Store or on the App Store for all companies across the board. So they're saying this was fair, it was a unanimous thing, no one was charging more or less. However, it has been shown that Apple struck a deal with Amazon to get their app onto the App Store and charge them 15% less. So basically they were paying a 15% levy or service charge, whereas everyone else was paying 30%. So this again doesn't seem fair, especially since Apple had said, it was fair for everyone. Now, Apple has been under a lot of scrutiny because of that especially, but what motivated Epic to push their new agenda now is that this has come out very recently, but I don't think Epic is trying to circumnavigate paying all fees. I think they have seen now that it is possible for these platforms to charge less. Like the 30% isn't a non-negotiable number. So they kind of went to the extreme, basically circumnavigating all the charges in the event that it would spark a conversation about being able to reduce the fees, not only for them, but for all other companies, all other developers, pushing, big developers, small developers, everyone across the board, paying a lower fee. Now, a lot of other people are seeing this in a different way, as recently in the United States, a lot of things have been happening in terms of Chinese companies. There's been a lot of things put in place for Chinese companies not to get a greater foothold in the Western economy. A lot of sanctions being put in place. So some people have been speculating that seeing Epic is partly or majority Chinese owned by a company Tencent, that they are trying to monopolize, trying to get into the Western market and get a bigger foothold, and then these companies are kind of pushing back at them to say no, that's not an option. Personally, I don't subscribe to that theory. It could be entirely possible, but all I see it from my end is a developer that has already seen charges being reduced for one company that kind of wants it for themselves as well. The savings that maybe the company would make, like I said, they'd be charging their customers less. Maybe their customers would also be saving. And for me as a consumer, if something is going to cost me less than it did before, it's going to push me to be more inclined to spend more on that game in the future. So long term, I think that it would actually benefit everyone if that levy was reduced and the savings were basically returned to the customer, because you'd get more return customers and therefore more revenue generated. Now, lastly, we can look at the question of if Epic will actually win. Now, if they're going for what I assume they're going for in the reduction of that levy and not trying to navigate or circumvent that levy entirely, then yes, I do think they can win. We see an example with Sony, as Epic was basically the company instrumental in changing Sony's cross-platform stance. So before Epic came along, there was no cross-platform play. They kind of pushed for it. It then came about with Fortnite, where you'd be able to play with not only mobile players but other console players on Switch and Xbox, and obviously a lot of other games then followed suit. So Epic has already shown that they have the ability and they have the drive and the weight behind their name, so to speak, to get changes going. So I do see that it is entirely possible for Epic to get that right. However, we'll have to wait and see what the responses from both Apple and Google are, and whether or not it is purely about the money, or if there is something maybe a little bit more nefarious involved there. Like I said, both lawsuits have already been put out. We'll just have to wait until there is an update. As it is a weekend, I doubt we'll be seeing an update until Monday at the earliest. However, if there are any updates, I will be posting that on my Twitter feed. So you guys do go and subscribe to that. Go follow me there to see any other updates. Also, if those of you don't know, I am also a streamer on Twitch. So I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. and that is GMT +2 South African time. So you can go ahead and drop by there. I will be playing tomorrow and Sunday. I do play some Hearthstone, some first-person shooters like Overwatch and Paladins, and now and again some Fortnite as well. Lastly, I do also have my Instagram page where you guys can go ahead and follow me on. And also, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can see any other updates I have. But for now, that is going to be everything from me. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day, afternoon, or evening, and I'll catch you guys very soon.